Khloe Kardashian has a new show called Revenge Body, and it's got some people talking. So Revenge Body hasn't even started airing yet, and it's already getting a lot of attention. And most of the attention that I've seen has not been positive. And if I'm seeing all this stuff, then I know that you're probably seeing all this stuff too. So I thought I would jump in and give you my thoughts on it as a dietitian, because the things that are coming along with this show are exactly the kind of things that I talk about here all the time. So if you somehow haven't seen any of the promos for this show, the basic premise is that you have people come on who have in some way been hurt by a person or people in their life because of their weight and or appearance. And so they come on the show and they get help from Khloe Kardashian, fitness trainers, makeup and hair, and all these types of people to transform themselves and get revenge on those people who were mean to them because of the way they looked. Now, obviously, I haven't seen the whole show because it hasn't even started yet, but I have looked at the trailers and they actually have a lot of clips posted online from the show. So from that, you can really get a good idea, I think, of what the show is going to be like, what kind of stuff it's going to cover, and what kind of vibe and tone it's going to take. So first off, let's talk about the title of the show, Revenge Body. Already, we're not starting off so great with that. It definitely throws up some red flags for me. Now, one of the trainers on the show has said in interviews, I've read online at least, that she has said that, yes, that's the title of the show, but that's not what the show is about. That's just something to get people's attention, to get them in. But the show is really about a lot more than that, and you gotta dig deeper to see what the real message is. And look, I totally understand needing a catchy title to get people to come in and watch your stuff, even if your message is really important, because you gotta get the people there first if you're gonna deliver that message. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt with the title. We'll put that to the side, and let's look at what is actually going on the show. Now, a lot of the clips they've posted online introduce us to some of the people that are going to be on the show and kind of show us the beginning steps of what they're going to be doing on the show. So one of the people is named Will, and the person he's getting revenge against is his ex-boyfriend. And the whole story there is that, he was dating this guy. It was wonderful. He felt like this relationship opened his eyes to like how great life could be. I mean, it was the best, and they were doing all this great stuff, living life to the fullest, going on trips, and he was just totally wrapped up in this relationship until one day his boyfriend broke up with him because Will had gained some weight over the time they'd been dating, and Will's boyfriend told him that he didn't find Will attractive anymore because of the weight gain. Another person on the show is named Stephanie, and her story is that she sees herself as the fat, ugly friend in her group, and she says that her friend group makes it known that that is who she is to them, like that's the role she plays. And it seems really not like what friends do, but we'll get into that later. So her whole thing is that, she wants to get revenge on these friends who have been mean to her and make her feel bad about herself, especially one friend from middle school who just made her feel awful about herself. And her goal is to be able to wear a bikini and feel confident in it. And doing this stuff on the show, she thinks, is going to give her that. And also in some of the trailers and clips and all that kind of stuff, we see that there's going to be a lot of the stuff you typically see on a weight loss show like this. So like trainer type drama, like screaming, you can do it, keep going, blah, 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 then someone giving up and them telling them, don't give up, the kind of stuff that you've seen before. Looks like we're gonna have a lot of that in the show too. Now, Khloe has said in interviews that the show really isn't about weight or appearance. It's really about taking a negative situation and taking that energy, and instead of turning it in and making it a way to like hurt yourself or be negative in your life, to channel that energy into something positive. And I totally get that. I mean, for a lot of us, when we go through a negative situation, there's something going on, it's easy to put that negative energy in a negative place and keep going down this negative path. But, if you can switch that and make it a positive thing, then that's awesome. But from what I can tell, it doesn't look like that is actually what is happening on this show. Instead, it looks like to me that what we have is people who are still hurting themselves because of the negative situation. They're just doing it in a different way. way. And what I mean by this is that their actions are changing, but their mindset is not. So now since they're on the show, instead of hurting themselves by maybe not eating well or not exercising, not taking care of their body, they're now punishing and hurting themselves by exercising and eating well. So even though it's different actions, it's still coming from the same place. It's coming from that same motivation, and it's a negative motivation. It's one of self-loathing or hatred or trying to change ourselves for other people. I mean, think about it. If someone says that they don't like you because the way you look doesn't align with their beauty standards, the solution to that problem is not to just change yourself so you do align with those beauty standards and then you'll be happy. All that says is those people are right. You're hideous. You're unworthy. You're less than. And if you would just go and stop being so awful, then people could actually like you. Go fix yourself. You're broken. And that's not the message we want to be sending to people at all. We want people to love themselves the way they are, not love themselves once they look the way that other people want them to look. And I think these kinds of things sneak through with a show like this because it's all veiled in health. So the idea is, exercising, eating well, all of these things are healthy. Getting healthy equals good. So if we can motivate a person or get a person to do these healthy things, then that's good. It doesn't matter how or why it happens. In reality, it's a lot more complex than that. Exercise doesn't always equal good. Eating healthy doesn't always equal good because it matters what the underlying stuff is. And like I said, from what I can tell, it looks like these people are still hurting themselves. They're just doing it in a different way. And instead, we want to help people to come to a place where they can see, that person that is treating me like crap, that says something about that person. It doesn't say something about me and who I am. If someone breaks up with you because you gained some weight, that says something about them and who they are. If your friends treat you like garbage because of the way you look, that says that they're not great friends, okay? And so when we can come to that place and say, oh, these people are having their own thing, they're a jerk, maybe just plain they're just a jerk, or maybe they're struggling with something and so they're pushing that onto you. Whatever it is, it's that person's issue. It's not my issue, okay? And then once we can see that, then we can say, hey, I'm just gonna take care of myself and love myself because this isn't about me. I don't need to fix myself for this other person. It's their stuff that they have to deal with. And another thing I think we see here is something that we see just overall still in our society a lot, and something I've talked about a lot, is this misconception that health equals weight. Because when you're watching this show, what is the goal? It seems to be weight loss as the goal, okay? So, Will is trying to lose weight so he can be attractive. It's not about taking care of his body. They kind of act like that's what it is about, but if Will didn't lose any weight, would he be happy because he's just trying to take care of himself? No, because the goal that he was trying to achieve is to lose weight to be more attractive for this guy who broke up with him. Same with this Stephanie girl. She is bigger than the other girls in her friend group. Are those girls doing healthy things? Are they taking care of their bodies? We don't know. Is Stephanie already exercising and stuff? It seems that she's not, because from the videos she seems to be intimidated by the gym environment, but that might also be because they throw her into this like crazy intense workout situation, and maybe that's just not her thing. I don't know, because we haven't seen the full episode yet. But the bottom line is it's still putting weight as the thing. We want to be skinny. Being skinny is better. If I'm skinny, then I'm a better person, and that's not real. Being skinny doesn't make you good. Being fat doesn't make you bad. Being fat doesn't make you good. Being skinny doesn't make you bad. Everyone is just a person. Some people maybe are better than others. All of us kind of have a little bit of everything going on, but it has nothing to do with our size or our shape or our weight. And in a lot of ways, I think this show is trying to say the right things, but then when you look at it deeper, that's not actually what's happening. So they act like it's about doing it for you, like it's called Revenge Body, but it's not about that other person. It's about you and getting this for yourself and taking care of yourself. Or even when we hear Khloe, a lot of times she talks about her personal experience promoting the show and even on the show. A lot of it is around how, she was the fat sister, and she turned to food as as a comfort and all this stuff. And then she went through a bad patch in her life, or a rough patch. She had a lot of stuff going on. I don't have to tell you all that. I'm sure you've heard all about it. But she had stuff going on in her personal life, and she decided instead of channeling it to those negative things that she'd done in the past, like, you know, turning to food and stuff, things that were self-destructive and not healthy for her, she channeled it into something that was healthy, which was getting in the gym, and it made her feel strong and confident and able, and it was so great because she felt powerful, and it was a stress reliever and all this stuff. And so like, oh yeah, that sounds great. She's taking care of herself, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then it always comes back to, and then I lost weight and I wasn't the fat sister anymore. And look, I'm not saying that I never worry about what other people think of me, or that's not ever something that crosses my mind, because I definitely do think about those things. We all do. But I think what I really want people to see is that that's something we can work on. Like, we want to work on noticing that and then feeling confident in ourselves without worrying about what other people think. Because if the solution is to just change yourself to match what other people want, and then you can be confident because then you're whatever people expect of you, then that's not really personal growth or improvement, or really, I don't think, feeling confident, because it's all still based on what someone else thinks of you. And you know, you might say, well, this is just a TV show, it's for entertainment, it's not real, like people, this should not be like people's real life or whatever. Maybe people find it inspirational or any of this kind of stuff. And I used to say that kind of stuff too about these types of shows. You know, it's not real life, who cares? It's just entertainment. But I do think we have to look and say, well, maybe we shouldn't be entertained by this kind of stuff anymore, because it really does send negative messages about what exercise should be about, what healthy eating should be about, how we should feel about ourselves, and how we should base how we feel about ourselves on like what other people think of us, all that kind of stuff. And so maybe this is a kind of format or TV show that we just need to move on from and find something else to be entertained by. And also, I do want to say that I don't think these things about this show or the show format, because it has a Kardashian attached to it. I mean, no matter who the host is, I think these are real problems with the format and the messaging and stuff like that from my perspective as a dietitian. But I do think that this is getting so much traction online and so much criticism and attention and stuff because Khloe is a part of it. That's just kind of how this thing works. People know that if you put a Kardashian with it, it gets clicks, it gets eyeballs, people read what you have to say. That's just kind of where we are right now. They're very popular or very unpopular. People have strong feelings about them either way. So obviously that's playing a role here. But at the same time, I think that that makes sense because, let's be honest, a lot more people are probably going to watch this show because a Kardashian is attached to it, whether it's to hate on it or to love on it. People feel strongly and they want to see what's going to happen with this show. So I think that it is important to see more talk about it because there's probably a lot more people watching it. You know, there's more eyeballs on both sides. So I think that kind of balances out because I do think it's important to talk about what's going on the show, what kind of message they're putting out there, because a lot of people are going to see it and probably a lot more people are going to see it because there's someone of that, you know, level of celebrity attached to the show. But let me know in the comments what you think about this whole thing. I definitely want to hear what you have to say, and I'm sure there's things that even when I'm editing this, I'm going to realize, man, I wish I'd said that, or I wish I'd said it this way, or whatever, even though I thought about this a lot before I even sat down to film it. That's just how these things work. So I definitely want to hear your contribution to this conversation. What do you think about it? How do you feel about it? You know, what kind of stuff are you expecting from the show? Maybe you think this show is awesome. I want to hear that too. You know, whatever your opinion is, let me know what it is and why you think that way, because I think this is the kind of thing that I don't just want to be like talking at you. I want it to be a conversation because I think stuff like this is a big deal and it's something we should definitely be thinking about and talking through together. So I hope you like this video. If you do happen to be new here and you want more healthy eating tips, nutrition info, healthy recipes, then make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle, it doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you're loving the free info here but you're finding that you need something more personalized, don't forget that I do offer one-on-one nutrition coaching and counseling. So if you're interested in working with me, just let me know and we can get that set up for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.